And welcome once again to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And with us in studio tonight, the one, the only, the lovely Regina.
Hi, everybody.
Back by popular demand.
Yes.
Once again, joined by the lovely Regina, straight from Sin City to our humble abode here in Stu Him Productions Studio South.
So how was the weather when you left
Vegas.
Las Vegas?
It was, in the morning it was 30,
Ooh.
but it warmed up to like 40s.
Okay.
So it was okay, but when I got here,
Heat wave.
when I got here, oh my gosh, I was like, what's 9 degrees? Dude,
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah.
Are you guys kidding me? And then when I woke up this morning, it was -1.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is -1?
How do people live here? What the fuck?
That's what I was like. You guys, like, what do you guys do about your pipes? Because at home, we're all like, turn on the faucet a little bit so it drips so our pipes don't freeze. But here, you guys, like, have it down.
You bury them deeper.
Yeah.
you put
Heat
insulation
Heat
around
tape.
them. Heat tape, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
We'll probably still turn the water on. Andy might have turned it off for a while ago, but
Oh, that may have been me.
no. The big faucet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I rinsed out the shot glasses.
Ah, okay.
But we get, you got to pass by it when you get
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
we'll probably
Yeah.
stand out there and BS, and I'll probably
Yeah.
eat a crunchy peanut butter sandwich.
Okay.
so you do turn your faucets on? Like,
Yeah.
leave them
Yeah, when it starts getting down in the
Okay.
single digits bullshit. Yeah.
Well, okay, but at the same time, he also has cats that don't like to drink out of a dish. They would rather drink from a dripping faucet.
All cats like that, though.
Not mine.
Whenever
Mine did.
I see, normally, because we got a water softener and shit a couple years ago, and the reverse osmosis water, and the cats think that faucet is theirs. That little faucet where your reverse osmosis water comes out, they think that's like, oh, you put this in for us. And I'm really surprised they ain't figured out how to turn it on yet, because all they got to do is push it down.
It's funny because the which cats are it? There's cats out there that figure out the small stuff. I've had one. For the life of me, I cannot think of it. They get really big and they're very furry.
Maine Coons?
Mancoons.
Yeah.
He taught the other cats how to open the doors
Yeah.
to the cabinets, how to get in them.
Or ours do that, and they're, well, you've met my cats, but
Yeah.
they're like dunk, 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 dunk. Okay, I can go in there now,
Oh,
but they have to flop it several times, especially when you're like sitting there trying to sleep. You're dunk, 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 dunk. That was like, just open the fucking cabinet, dude.
Mancoons are problem solvers.
Are they?
They figure it out quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how'd that water get on? I'm like, it can't be the cat. And I turn it off, and I'm like, oh, he turned it back on. Okay, I let that go.
I mean,
And the ones that figure out doorknobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I had a black cat who figured out that a touch lamp, you just kind of got to rub up against the metal shade,
Right.
and it turns on.
Yep. We had a cat years ago when we lived down at Mom's. She was a Manx.
Oh.
And she would basically sit on your chest and stare at you when the alarm was about ready to go off. She knew when that alarm was going to go off. You'd feel, what the fuck is going on? And you're like, and all of a sudden, it's like, God damn it, get the fuck off me.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
Because days that I had to go to work, Monday through Friday. I would get up at like 6:30 to get ready to go to the gym, and I would clean out Murphy's litter box and give him fresh water, fresh food. And the one day off I had, if I didn't get up at 6:30 to start fucking doing that shit, he would start turning on my lamp. And I'm like, you little motherfucker.
You should just got up, done your shit, and then went back to bed, and he'd have probably been okay.
But even now, if I've got to get up, and at that time I didn't wear any sort of house shoes, but if I had to get out of bed and my feet hit that cold hardwood floor, I was awake. No matter how much I went back to bed, it's going to take me a good 45 minutes to fall asleep. And then by that time, it's like...
Well, that's when you go get in a recliner in front of the TV and turn it on.
The couch. Yes, the couch.
I had a leather couch.
It's okay. You can still recline it.
My couch didn't recline.
Damn it, Matt. Work with me, man.
I mean, I had a suede.
He's just been a little bitch because he's
Yes. Okay, I'll fucking admit it. I was like 41, 42 years old.
Well, goddamn, was that 20 years ago?
Oh. I got it.
Okay, 10. I'm sorry.
I'm the youngest fucker in the room. Anyways, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tonto posing as a whatever Andy would say.
Tonto says, Kimosabe, you're going to die. You've heard that joke.
It's been
Lone Ranger got bit on his penis by a rattlesnake.
Yes.
Tonto rode to town, and he's like, how do you do a rattlesnake bite? And I said, well, you got to cut it, and then you got to suck the poison out. And he's like, what if I don't do that? And he goes, well, he's going to die. So he comes back, and he goes, sorry, Kimosabe, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Put him.
I mean, okay, so now we know that the newest members of the Stewart compound who don't want to hang out, they want to like hang on to Vegas as long as they can.
Right.
Their team got their asses fucking handed to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did.
By the motherfucking Kansas City Chefs.
Yes, sir.
I mean that was like FedExed. You know, that was an overnight fucking letter from the Kansas City Chefs to the Miami Tilapias.
They got spanked.
The only thing that sucked was Tyreek Hill got one touchdown, and that pissed me off. Because that motherfucker, I'm sorry, he's a great receiver. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
Credit where credit is due.
Yep.
But he goes to the Dolphins because of contract issues and everything. He's a free agent. He goes to the Dolphins.
Yep.
And before the Dolphins ever play a single fucking game,
before a single down,
after their OTAs, blah, 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 he goes, oh, I'm playing with the best quarterback ever. It's like, fool, I'm sorry. You just won a Super Bowl with the fucking Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
right?
And now you're saying you have just played with the best quarterback ever in Tua Tagovailoa?
Look, motherfucker, you're the first Dolphin to walk into the locker room with a fucking Super Bowl ring.
In a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a long while. And number one.
They're not getting a Super Bowl ring this year.
Oh, no. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is number one, Tua is not in the same league with Mahomes.
No.
No.
Number two, he is not the greatest quarterback ever to play the game.
No.
No.
Because if I'm not mistaken, maybe I am, but
You're not going to bring Tom Brady back up into this shit, are you?
Yes, he is.
Tyreek Hill lost a Super Bowl to the greatest quarterback of all time. Statistics don't lie.
But
I've
do-
never been a Patriots fan.
But Tyreek Hill might have won a Super Bowl with maybe the greatest quarterback of all time. By the time it's said and done.
Well, he did win one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With Patrick Mahomes.
Right. And if he would have caught that pass that was thrown to him, that would have been the number one play of that season. When Patrick Mahomes was fucking horizontal and threw that fucking sidearm pass
Yep.
right at Tyreek, who was wide open. All I got to say is they fuck you in the drive-thru every
They,
motherfucking time.
they fuck you with the cell phones.
They do. Every time. Every time.
Every motherfucking time.
Where's Joe when we need him? He's probably in bed by now.
Well, he just got some serious work done on the inside of his arm.
Yeah. So he's pussing out and he's in bed by now.
He's, what did he say? Aspirin and Jim Beam
Yeah.
really made the inside of his arm feel good. Because, well, and he called me and he asked me about it because I've got the inside of both my arms done. And he was asking me. And I was like, you know what? What hurt the worst when I got the inside of my arms done? My shoulder. From keeping my arm back.
Right. That's kind of like the one I got on my calf. Leaving Fort Leonard Wood was where I got it done at. My arm hurt worse because I was laying like this.
Oh, yeah.
My shoulder was like, I'm like, God damn it, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, after 4 hours of
Yeah.
doing that shit. I mean, it wasn't all at once because we took
Yeah.
breaks, but still.
Well, it's like people trying to say that the shin doesn't hurt.
Yeah, bullshit.
Well, it hurts, but I think the worst part is your side. When you
No.
get a tattoo,
Nope.
because it's so soft.
My ribs hurt. My stomach hurt. And that was like, I got the Blues Brothers done in 1994. And then I had my 2 nautical stars put on my stomach in 2006. My shin, by far, hurt the fucking worst. The stitch that goes over my shin, oh my God. And then when we did the beach thing that goes around my leg, fuck you. My shin hurt like a motherfucker.
Well, I have a guy that owned the shop. Told me that most guys can't get this side done because it hurts them too bad. They have to stop like every 15 minutes. And my guy, he just plowed through, and I fell asleep. He was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of a masochist, and I kind of like pain, so it's okay."
Now, my ex,
Women's pain threshold is a lot higher than men's.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys give birth.
yeah, we spit babies.
Well, okay.
If men gave birth, humanity would have ceased to exist
Immediately.
60,000 years ago.
immediately.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, there would be no humans.
Well, okay, if you
It'll be
think
like-
about it,
Fuck that. Out. Done.
most women, 2, 3, 4 years after they have their first child, they're thinking about another child.
Not even that long.
Right. But
I mean,
man,
once that new baby smell wears off, they're like,
Yep.
I need another baby.
But a man gets kicked in the nuts when he's 12 years old. Mm-hmm. Never in the rest of his fucking life will he ever say, you know what? I think I kind of want to get kicked in the nuts. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-mm. Once a man has felt that fucking like straight up NFL kicker kick in the square in the fucking dilly to where he's pissing blood,
I'm going to take you one better.
Okay.
You don't even have to hit nuts.
No.
You just got to graze them shits.
Yeah.
It's like Eddie Murphy. The great Eddie Murphy said, "You don't have to hit nuts. You just got to graze them. You like be playing with you, like, and she's like, bam, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck, motherfucker?"
or you're sitting there and you're playing this game with your boys
because you're like, poop, did that just
hit my?
Oh god damn, you know, and you're done.
Right.
Okay. Now you may or may.
Why do you think they make nut shots illegal in UFC?
Right.
Because I don't give a fuck how big you are.
Oh,
you get kicked in the nuts, that motherfucker's done.
He'll drop like a rock.
Yep.
Now, I know James here has seen it being played in his living room a time or two when he had his house in Halfway with me, his nephew, and our resident drug aficionado. Played a little game called Donkey Ball. Oh, yeah. You'd get flicked or tapped in the nuts, and you got that split second to where your fucking anger is there, and you're like, motherfucker, and you're trying to hit him before, like, the pain goes from your jewels to your brain.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of travel time.
Yeah, as soon as that pain hits there, all of a sudden it's like, oh,
I'm gonna kick your ass as soon as I can stand up, you motherfucker. God,
you better run. You better run and hope I don't find you, you son of a bitch. But the worst part about it is, Chris Vez and I, we were best friends. Mm-hmm. Where you saw one, you'd see the other two. Rarely did you ever see any of us not together.
Okay.
So, I mean, fuck. Chris had...
And that's why men are fucked up, because that's what we do when we're friends.
Yeah.
We hit each other in the balls.
Is that why they say men don't live longer than women because of the stupid shit they do? Because you guys do some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You are correct, but
most of the stupid shit men do is to impress women.
That's true.
I
mean, give you that one.
I mean,
I give you that one.
I mean, you know, back in the day, why'd you do the burnout on the square in Buffalo? To impress the girls that were standing there.
Dude, did you see those chicks sitting there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was totally wet when she saw me fucking burning my tires.
Yeah.
Said no woman ever. But yet, dudes still do it. Driving down, hey, baby, how you doing? I have never, in my 50 years, ever known a dude to pick up a chick, a woman, a female, whatever, by doing catcalls.
Oh, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
But yet, you reverse the roles, and if a woman catcalls a dude,
hey, baby, come on over.
hey, how you doing?
Hey, daddy. That's all we got to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
But then you're wondering, as you pull up there, you're going, how much is this going to cost me?
Is it going to cost me half?
Half, Eddie.
Fuck you, Mr. Fuck You Man.
Fuck you, Mr. Fuck You Man. I want half. It's like, bitch, when I met you, you had a both of your nose riding on a zebra naked. I don't care. I'm an American girl now, Eddie. Half.
That's right. We want half.
Listen, that I'll be on the cover of the Black Inquirer going.
I mean, look, if A woman told me that she wanted half my shit. She's gonna get a bunch of DVD or Blu-rays and a bunch of Funko Pops.
Oh, Maddie.
I'm just saying.
It's all good.
But that woman is also going to have to fight my daughter because I know my daughter wants all my Funko Pops. Probably not, but I can dream.
At this point, you'd be like, here you go, dear.
Well, I mean, I've got some that are worth some serious fucking money,
Okay.
but
$12.
no, I've got one that's actually worth like, in
24.
theory,
20.
$120.
Oh.
In theory.
I think
But
that's
that's-
serious money. Like thousands.
I've got a record that's probably
Half a
worth that.
million.
I got a record that's probably worth at least $1,000.
You're skittered?
Yep. My Street Survivors. And if I ever get a chance to meet Artemis Pyle, I'll have him sign it. And it'll be signed by 3 of the surviving members from the plane crash.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That'd be
Because it's signed by Gary Rossington and Billy Powell. And, of course, Gary Rossington died last year, and Billy Powell died the year prior.
It would have been
And,
worth even more if you'd had them all sign it before the plane crash.
yeah, good luck. I mean, if you were lucky enough to get...
Of course, how old were you in 1977?
When the plane crashed,
Yeah.
I was 3.
Yeah. So getting them autographs would have been a little bit. It might have been cool. A little 3-year-old Mac going, "Can you sign mine?"
They'd be like, sure, son.
Go, buddy.
Yeah, they'd have signed it for you.
But my friend Ilka got the record off of eBay. So, and I'm sure there's...
Was it already signed, the 2 autographs, or did you,
Yeah.
did you get them?
No, they were already signed.
Oh, okay.
And then there was there's a business card for their tour manager, and then a concert ticket from the '89 tour.
That was their first tour back, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the first tour with Johnny Van Zant.
Right.
And Alan Collins, who was one of the guitar players that survived the plane crash, but then he got into DUI, and I mean, he had that survivor's guilt sort of thing. And then Rossington.
Why didn't I die with the rest
Right.
of them?
And after the plane crash, and then there was the one concert where for Freebird, somebody in the lighting crew decided to put a spotlight on the microphone that had
was-
Johnny Van Zant's hat on it.
That was the first show they done
Yeah,
back.
right.
And it was original. It was before Johnny.
No,
Or-
yeah, it was before Johnny,
Before Johnny.
but it was
joined the
after
band.
the but it was after the plane crash.
Right. It was the first performance back,
It was
and they put the spotlight on the microphone, and
Yep.
they done Freebird without vocals. Yep.
right, and it was Gary Rossington, Billy Powell, Alan Collins, Wilkinson, the bass player, I think it was Ron Wilkinson, and Artemis Pyle. So 5 of the 7 original musicians, and then it was only Gary's wife, and then one other skinette. I think that's what they were called. I don't know. The
I
backup
don't
singers.
remember.
Because Cassie Gaines, Chris Gaines, Ronnie Van Sant, they had all died.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't even think Alan Collins was actually playing at that time, because I think he was already had the auto accident that fucking paralyzed him from the waist down, and yeah. And that's a sad story on its own.
You may need to edit this,
Okay.
but I need to ask her a question.
Yes.
How do you feel about like the Southern rock bands and like Pantera and whatever,
Love them.
but playing with guitars with
The Confederate flag.
on them?
Honestly, I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of it's before my time.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with it, but I love the music.
Right.
So I
So you
can't be mad. You know, it's something that came before me, so I'm not going to be mad now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just a lot of stuff has come up, but, you know.
Well, you know, and a lot of them, like Dimebag,
Had a couple guitars.
He loved everybody,
Yes.
but he loved his heritage.
Right. And why
His
would you be
Southern
mad about
heritage.
that?
Right.
Because you have different groups out here that in and out that love their heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And so what? Am I supposed to just stop listening to them because
Right.
of that? I just like good music.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, are we supposed to stop listening to Michael Jackson because he might have been a pedophile?
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Well, and I think I was telling you, there's a 1% motorcycle club in the South that is a pure black motorcycle club that wears more Confederate flags than any fucking skinhead I've ever met in my life. Because every time they do a charity run for somebody that had passed, it's always the state with a black and white Confederate flag over it. I mean, this dude, let's call him Leroy, because I know that it's actually his name. First time he came into the gun shop, he was wearing a necklace that had the 1% sign on it. And I was like, okay, I know what that means. And we got to talking. Motorcycles and this, that, and the other. And every time he came into the shop, he always asked for me. And we would sit there and bullshit for like an hour, just talking motorcycles. And he was the one that told me not to take the Screaming Eagle patch off my back, because the 101st patch is Old Abe, the Screaming Eagle, and then there's an airborne tab that goes over the top. Now that is considered, or could be considered, a two-piece patch. And anybody that wears a 2 or 3-piece patch on their back, they're a motorcycle club. And if you're rolling through somebody's area, they're going to be like, meh. But what Leroy
Start adding more rockers to the side and all that shit.
But what Leroy told me is, in the area around Fort Campbell, all the MCs, they know what Old Abe looks like.
Right.
And they ain't going to say shit.
Right.
But he did give me the advice that when I went up to Sturgis, I shouldn't have anything on my back. So I didn't.
Yeah, because that's out of area, and
yeah, because from Tennessee, you're rolling through.
you're better off just wearing a plain fucking vest.
Yeah, I did. The only thing is I had an American flag up on my chest, and then
Your 45 and your 9mm inside your vest.
yes, with a the 506 dice.
Oh.
I did have that patch on the front, which is the circle with the 5 and the 6, and you had the O for 506, and you had the American Eagle in the middle. But I was running through outlaw country, bandito country, angel country.
Oh, wow.
Running through a couple of different Indian reservations.
Probably going through gooses and stuff too. If you're coming up through Missouri, and
Yeah.
There's a Masonic club called Widow Sons. and it's not the club; it's a association.
Right.
But talked to a couple guys, and they said the Gooses fucked with them one day, and because it's a cool patch,
Right.
It's the widow's son's patch on the back, and they got to fucking with them, and these guys are like, dude, we're just a fucking Masonic organization. They're like, yeah, we know, we're just fucking with you.
Right.
Oh, wow.
It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, and if you think about it, like the Hells Angels, they've gotten away from it. But when they were first started, they were started by fucking veterans
Yeah,
who came back from the war.
World War II.
And the most famous Hells Angel of all time, Mr. Ralph Sonny Barger, was part of the 25th Infantry Regiment in Hawaii. He lied about his age to join the military at 16.
Right.
On his 18th birthday, he was partying, and they realized that he had just turned 18. 2 years in the Army.
Oh, wow.
He has... Now, Sonny has since passed on, and he spent time in prison.
Yeah.
The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, when he was the national president, beat the RICO Act, not once, but fucking twice, had an honorable discharge from the United States Army. Signed by one Harry S. Truman.
All right.
And the Angels from Oakland actually went down to Berkeley during Vietnam. And the Berkeley students, during their protest, thought the Angels were there to back them up. No. Because most of the Angels were veterans. They walked between the cops and the students. And when they got fully in the middle, they turned their backs to the cops and they were staring at the students.
Oh, wow.
Sonny Barger and the Angels requested from President Johnson and President Nixon to be sent to Vietnam
Oh.
to fight the Viet Cong.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yep.
They're like, we fought the Nazis and the Japs. We can go do this.
Right. Well, and a lot of the...
the Japanese, I should say that. To clarify, so we don't get canceled.
Because they believed in America that much that they were willing to fight. And with being a, and the whole 1% motorcycle club thing came from the AMA, the American Motorcycle Association, which they said that 99% of motorcyclists are law-abiding citizens.
That was a commercial that Honda
Yes.
had, the gold wings. The Honda gold wings. It said 99% of motorcyclists are nice people. And so the 1% that said, we're not fucking nice.
But the Hells Angels, they all carried business cards. And if they came across a car that was broke down on the side of the road, they would stop and help the motorist get their car running again. And then they would hand him a business card.
Right.
Your vehicle was just fixed by Hell's Angel.
Right.
And they can be outlaws and they can be gangsters, but they are all about helping the community.
Right.
Well, most of them started, it was after World War II, and these were guys, and that's where the whole hot rodding thing, culture came from, because these guys got out of World War II, and
They were looking for that adrenaline rush.
well, and a lot of them were like engineers and shit,
Bomber pilots.
and
yep.
they didn't have a place to go, and they're like, well, Holly, Edelbrock, those were all World War II veterans. and they're like, "Oh shit, this normal life sucks," because we were in the shit. We didn't know if we were gonna die every day.
Right.
But they're like, okay, well, let's take a camshaft and let's grind it a little bit different and see if we can make these cars go faster. And that's where the hot rodding, they was taking the fenders off those old 40s cars, and that's where the hot rodding started.
The rat rods.
The rat rods.
Yep.
And then the same thing, the motorcycle gangs are like, well, fuck. How better to feel like you may die at any second than be on a fucking motorcycle going 100 miles an hour.
Clubs.
Yeah. And that's where the club started.
Yeah.
It was all
The
World War II veterans. It's like, fuck it. We survived that shit. Fuck this.
the East Bay Dragon Motorcycle Club out of Oakland, California, who Gene, God, I can't think of his last name, and I've got his book. It was an all-black motorcycle club, and Sonny Barger wrote the foreword because they were good friends. Now, the East Bay Dragons started off as a car club.
Okay.
Back in the 40s and 50s. Well, cars were getting a little bit more expensive, and families couldn't have more than one car and keep that car pristine. So the guys switched to motorcycles. And that's where the motorcycle culture, as you see now with the chrome and the flashy paint, it came from those all-black motorcycle clubs. And, before that, the guys would have a car show like every weekend. Everybody meet down at the park, and they'd have the big cookouts and whatnot. And then they started the motorcycle club with the paints and everything like that. And anywhere outside of Oakland, California, that you find an East Bay Dragon motorcycle club, they're an unauthorized offshoot of the East Bay Dragons in Oakland.
Oh, wow.
Because Gene would not allow any other chapters.
Okay.
But guys would leave the chapter and move around the United States, and they would start another chapter. Whereas, like, the Hells Angels, the Outlaws, the Banditos, the Geese, Sons of Satan, the Mongols, or anything like that, they have to authorize every chapter.
Yeah.
Gene didn't want other chapters outside of the East Bay because he couldn't control. Like, they didn't run drugs, they didn't run guns, they were a family-oriented club.
Right.
Everybody rode Harleys except for one guy. The guy that carried all the tools rode a BSA. It was some British bike.
Okay.
But it had all the bags, and he carried all the tools.
Because it was the most dependable bike?
No, because it came with all the tools. And this was back in the 60s before AMF bought Harley.
Right. But still, back in the 60s, Harleys were known to be breaking down all the time.
Oh, yeah. But it was also, guys were taking shit off of these Harleys that didn't need to be taken off. And, and of course in the late 60s through the 70s into the early 80s, AMF was there, and they believed in quantity over quality. Because my Harley's not leaking oil, it's just marking its territory. Bitch, please.
Small block Chevys were the same way.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Ford guy.
Small block Fords were the same way back in the 70s. I'm sorry.
Well, they're better now.
Yeah.
Ford
I got
and
all.
the Chevys are both better now.
I got about 230,000 miles on my 2012 F-150.
I can say as a body man who's worked on everything,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do body work on a Chevrolet than a Ford, because Ford engineers are fucked in the head. Why do you need 5 different fasteners to put on one piece of plastic?
Oh, that's true. I give it to you there.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that Ford engineers are worse than Dodge engineers?
I said I'd rather work on a Chevy
Yeah, right.
than a Ford.
Right.
I didn't say nothing about Dodge.
I know changing the battery in my niece's Avenger, I got to take the driver's side wheel off, take the fucking wheel well out
Right.
to get at the fucking battery.
Did I say
No.
Dodge?
No.
I said I'd rather work on a Chevy as a Ford.
Well, okay. When my
Did I say Dodge?
No, you
I
did.
did not. I
You
did
did
not
not.
mention Dodge,
No,
did
you
I?
didn't.
You did not. Okay, sir.
Okay, now, if you want to go that way, I will tell you Dodge has, as far as the body work,
Right.
Dodge are built better in the front when a deer hits it and you got to replace parts.
Okay.
Dodges are built more like shit should be built, because they actually have more screws and not so many push pins and plastic as all Fords
Okay.
and Chevys do.
Really?
Okay.
Yes, they have actual bolts and fasteners, and they're
Yeah.
built better sheet metal wise. Now, suspension wise, they're not.
Yeah.
Because as an inspector, Dodge is about 60, 80,000 miles. You need tie rod ends, ball joints, stuff like that. Probably a little more than Chevys or Fords.
Huh.
Now,
Interesting.
my dad, back in the day when they used to run drag race.
But I cuss Fords all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I get, if I could, it don't matter if it's a 2000 or a 2024. The way they put their shit together is just, it boggles the mind how many tools I have to take out of my toolbox to take that shit apart. It's
That's
like,
crazy.
seriously, you got an under panel between your bumper and your cross member.
That's
Why can you not have one fastener to take out all of those? To remove this panel?
Oh no,
No, Ford. No, you've got a 5.5. You've got an 8 millimeter. Oh, and you've got the push in deals and everything to take out one fucking panel. At least a Chevy, when I get underneath it, I know I need a 7.
Now my dad,
A Dodge, I probably need a 7 or an 8, or it's all push ins.
yeah,
But it's all the same thing.
yeah. My dad said back in the day when they used to drag and run dirt track, everybody ran Chevy motors and Ford bodies.
Yeah.
Because Fords were galvanized steel.
Right.
They were that stronger body. But a Chevy, you get a 305 block and you can make it a 350. But you can't take a 302
No.
and make it a 351.
No, you could interchange. You could make a 327 Chevy by, God damn it, what was the formula? It was just a, you could put like a 383 crankshaft in it, and I don't remember the exact formula, but yeah. You could do Chevrolet small blocks. You could cross over a lot of fucking shit.
Right.
Heads would interchange and all that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do that with a 302.
Uh-uh.
Now, you could.
I did that 302 I had in that
Yeah.
84.
Uh-huh.
I had 351 Windsor 4-barrel heads on it.
Right.
They would fit on the 302 block, and the 302 in tank would fit. But a 302 in tank would not fit on a 351 block because it was
Right.
a little bit wider.
Right. And you could interchange the Windsor and the Cleveland Fords.
Depending on, because
Yeah.
the Cleveland was the bigger head with the bigger valves.
Right.
That was basically a 351 Cleveland. It was a 302
Yeah.
with the Windsor heads on it.
And the Cleveland is what came in the De Tomaso Pantera.
Mm-hmm. There's a small block 351 with big heads.
Geez.
Geez.
Okay.
So, Gina.
Yes.
What
kind of,
non-
what kind of music did you grow up on? I mean,
R&B, Aretha
R&B.
Franklin, Luther Vandross,
okay.
some Lenny, what's his name? Lenny.
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Bruce?
Lenny Kravitz.
No,
Oh.
not Lenny Kravitz. Blues.
Oh.
Howlin' Wolf? What?
Yeah, because my stepdad was all about blues and jazz.
Mhm.
My mom was all about R&B.
Nice. So we mentioned Pantera a while ago. Did you say, fuck yeah?
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
11th grade, my best friend, Jan, she was all about metal.
Nice.
She loved her some hard rock music. She was like, hey, Gina, listen to this group, this group, this group. And I'm like, oh, my God, have you lost your mind? And she was like, no, listen. And then I was like, oh, I like it.
Yeah.
So then I started listening to it. My mom's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, listen to this, Mom. And my mom was like, oh, that's not bad. So I brought my mom over, and we just kept going with it. And then my younger sister even got into it too, and I was like, I like it.
Well, see, like a lot of the 80s hair metal music, you know, the Motley Crue,
yes.
fucking Def Leppard, stuff like that.
Aerosmith.
That was blues based.
Cinderella
Cinderella, yeah.
was a big one that was very blues based.
Well, a lot of them, if you go back and just listen, it's it's blues riffs
Yeah.
and everything, but it's distorted guitars and looking for nothing
Yeah.
but a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
How
But-
could I resist?
But see, I was all into that because I grew up listening to. My mom and dad were older. And
Dad was part of the greatest generation.
yeah, my dad was a World War II vet.
Oh, wow.
He fought in Germany.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
But they were. I mean, I remember going on road trips and we had an AM radio. It was one of them deals where it was like, well, let's go get a 6-pack and drive around, type deal. But Dad would turn over to a Mexican. You can get a Mexican station on
Yes.
AM. You know. And of course, I grew up on the Grand Ole Opry and Hee Haw
Yes.
and all that. But then we also watched the Midnight Special, Don Kirshner's rock concert, American Bandstand. You know, so
Soul Train.
not really so much back then.
Really?
No,
Not really so much back then, but later on, I discovered Soul Train and everything. But the R&B and everything. But then, I got into the rock music. And, I seen Kiss for the first time in, 1974. I was watching Midnight Special, and they performed live, and it scared the shit out of me. But the music was like, oh, that's fucking cool,
Yes.
And I was a Kiss fan. But then, and I got into the 80s hair bands and everything. And then a friend of mine gave me a Metallica bootleg. It was Master of Puppets, and I listened to that, and I'm like going, I don't know.
My godmother introduced
I
me to
don't-
Metallica.
It's like, I don't know about this,
Yeah.
And then Chris, he brought me this tape. It was Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What?
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, what's this? And he goes, oh, my buddy so-and-so, I can't remember who it was. He said he bought this, and, Anarchy in the UK. first line is "I am an antichrist." And and this kid's like heard that, and he's like, "Oh, I can't listen to this." And so he gave it to Chris. And we listened to that, and it's like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I got Metallica, "Kill 'Em All" from Columbia House. Oh, wow. You remember Columbia House?
Yeah, I do. I do.
And I'm like, I listened to that, I'm like, oh, dude. I mean, that changed everything.
Changed
everything.
Yeah.
Fucking everything. I still like the hairband shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, this ain't this. And then Pantera came out in 1990. I got Cowboys from Hell. Fuck. It was all over.
Now,
it was,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, your guitar teacher at the time, Scott Snow, was really good friends with a guy named Daryl Abbott.
Right.
And
well, they knew each other from
yes,
when Naked Zoo toured
yep.
down in Dallas. Yeah.
Daryl Abbott, of course, better known to majority of the people as Dimebag Daryl. Chris had the first Pantera album with Phil Anselmo as the lead singer, Power Metal. And the
PST-88.
yes, Pussy Tight tonight, Pussy Tight. All right.
I've seen Naked Zoo play that.
Really?
Yes.
What was cool is that album was the first one with Phil, but it was when they were transitioning from their hair metal to
have you ever
metal.
seen the photo of that album cover, Power Metal?
I don't know.
Because Phil had like this fucking 80s fucking pompadour thing going on, and they all had the big fucking hair.
And the spandex and
Yeah. But that was a transition between Van Halen-ish Pantera and Pantera.
To balls to the wall.
Yeah. To the power groove.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And see, I and I look at all of it like blues, rock, R&B, and all that. And I see some shit. Every once in a while, I'll stay up and watch Jimmy Kimmel or something, and they'll have a band on there, and I'm like going, what the fuck is this shit?
What did they do?
But
Give it back.
Yeah. But then there was like a band the other night. It was a country band, and I can't remember her name, but she was fucking pretty as hell. And I'm sitting there listening to that. I was like, damn, that's kind of old school country. Not like so much of the new country, which is the new country's got the.
It's the soft shit.
Well, and that's
we used to watch CMAs
Yes.
when
Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley were the
hosts just because they were so good together. Carrie Underwood, she's fucking gorgeous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's got some legs.
And it's like,
but they were so good together. They played off each other. And then I'm watching these bands, and I'm going, if you cut the audio out, it looks like a metal band from the 80s.
right.
With all the tattoos and everything. But then you turn the audio back on, and now it's rap country.
Yeah.
So weird.
Which was made famous.
So weird.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the first person to mix the two was a little guy that was born in Nashville, Tennessee, raised in a place called Ashland City, Tennessee, by the name of Ryan Upchurch.
In the first rap country?
Yep. But
I mean, if you think about Old Willie and stuff like that, that was kind of rap.
Right.
He sang, but he talked it,
But it's like, I was telling Gina earlier today, Chris Stapleton does Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. And much like when Johnny Cash recorded Hurt, Trent Reznor was like, yeah, whatever. And then he heard it. And he said that is a Johnny Cash song that's no longer a Nine Inch Nails song.
Right.
Nothing Else Matters by Chris Stapleton takes on a whole new meaning of the song. And it's, I could see where Metallica could say that's a Chris Stapleton song, no longer a Metallica song.
They could say that as long as Lars gets paid.
Right.
Exactly, because it's all about the Benjamins.
But, I mean, you know, Chris Stapleton, when he sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl last year,
All right.
and he brought Sean Payton, or no, not Sean Payton.
Sean Penn. No.
Who was the, what was it? Shanahan.
Mike?
No, his son is the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh,
Or is he the coach of... Anyways, the Eagles head coach was brought to tears by Chris Stapleton singing the national anthem with just him and his guitar. Yeah, you could see it on the sidelines. He's got tears running down his eyes because the national anthem by him is just so fucking amazing. It's crazy.
Did you see the deal I shared on Facebook, or the Facebook, the other day?
I mean, I probably did.
It was
obviously.
the Heart.
Oh,
doing-
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stairway to Heaven
Stairway
with
to
Jason
Heaven.
Bonham
no.
with Jason Bonham.
at the
Yeah.
Kennedy
have to check
the
it
Kennedy
out.
Center.
Kennedy Center honors. They were
Yes.
honoring Led
Led
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
And here's Robert Plant, big stiff upper lip Englishman, right?
Yeah.
You can't show emotion. And he's sitting there.
Yep.
Oh, I'm definitely
Wiping
gonna have to
away
check that
tears.
out.
Because
Yes.
there's Robert Plant, there's Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones.
Yeah.
And then on the stage is Nancy and
Ann
Wilson
Jason Bonham.
and Jason Bonham doing Stairway to Heaven. And of course,
and there's
Nancy.
there's also an orchestra.
Oh, yeah. And
behind
Nancy
them,
is
or not the
fucking
orchestra.
belting it out.
Well,
And
Nancy
it is
Wilson is
fucking, oh, God, yes. And it's just, it's one of those amazing
But
fucking,
They kept. I mean, Jimmy Page. He's like going, and he's smiling.
yeah.
You know, you know. But Robert, he's trying to keep that fucking stiff upper lip. And then he's got a little crack of a smile, and he's like
Because they
fucking
broke
wiping
them.
away
Yeah.
tears. Yeah, it was like that's cool because the Englishmen are known for their. Well, we got to keep this.
Yes.
Gotta be stoic. We gotta be stoic in the moment.
We done this so much better than what they're doing. Yeah.
That's funny because we grew up with Nancy Wilson listening to her.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But now if
And
you,
Wilson,
Oh,
her vocals. Nancy was a guitar player, the blonde hair guitar
yes.
yeah.
Anne was
And-
the singer.
player, the virtuoso.
Now, if you go and you
They-
listen,
you know what was funny? You remember back in the '80s when they made their return?
Yep.
And they had the
Yep.
heart. The heart.
Yeah.
It was just heart,
yeah,
and they were both hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they done all the videos and everything, and then like the second record came out, and Ann was gaining weight,
mm-hmm.
and they shot the videos to where they were showing her face, but then they were showing Nancy because Nancy was always hot,
yeah,
but then the next record, the record company's like, you need to lose some weight and everything. She goes, did you ever tell Aretha Franklin to lose weight?
No, they would never think of that. Never.
And it's like, and that's kind of, it was kind of their downfall as far as popularity, because the record companies are like, well, we can't use you because that was the '80s.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, that was like, you got to be fucking hot. You got to, you know.
But then you get Wilson Phillips,
Yeah.
and you had what was it? Anne's No. I think Ann was the guitar player and Nancy was the singer.
No. Ann Wilson was a good singer.
Well, you had one of the.
Look it up on your Google machine. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I love it.
But yeah, Wilson Phillips. I mean, of course, that was the daughters of the Mamas and the Papas.
Right.
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 And one of the Wilsons.
Boom, boom.
Then you had Trisha Yearwood. She made it big back then.
Yeah, she did. And Gretchen Wilson.
Oh, what happened to Gretchen Wilson?
You know what? I don't know, but I loved her.
Did you ever see her with God damn it?
'Cause I'm a red.
Kid Rock.
No,
Oh,
no. Man in the
Hank-
Box,
Lane Staley.
the band,
Oh, Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains. Gretchen Wilson with Alice in Chains,
No.
and they done Barracuda.
Shut up.
Yo,
I gotta
YouTube
check
that shit.
out. Okay.
Gretchen Wilson with Alice in Chains doing Barracuda.
Oh.
Oh, it's yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, she was hot for a minute, and I haven't heard nothing from her for.
Wow.
I haven't heard nothing from Gretchen Wilson in a while.
No. No, not at all. Did you find it, sir?
Yeah, it was. You're right. I'm wrong.
Ann Wilson was the lead
Yeah.
singer. Nancy
Yeah.
Wilson was the guitar player.
Yeah. And then
I
you
know my
had.
heart.
Hey now.
And then you had.
I don't remember all the rest of the band.
Yeah. Well, I mean, does it matter?
No.
It was called Heart.
Yeah.
That's like, the band, unfortunately, Nelson.
Oh, that was wow.
Matthew and Gunnar Nelson,
Yeah.
Ricky Nelson's sons.
They had one hit song.
Yeah. But do you remember the rest of the band?
No.
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 Does it matter?
No.
No.
I quit thinking about all the members of bands quite a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Ivan Moody. Not Think of Death Punch.
Now, with Five Finger.
I know. God damn it! Now I can't even think of his name. The bass player,
Chris Kyle.
Chris Cale.
Yep.
Yeah. But
And Zoltan Bathory.
Zoltan Bathory. Yeah.
Yep. Because I mean, now my favorite Five Finger lineup was Jeremy Spencer on drums, Jason Hook on guitar, Zoltan Bathory on guitar, Chris Cale on bass, and Ivan Moody on vocals.
Right.
But I mean, it wasn't like Metallica. They would change out a bass player every now and then. Not really.
Not really.
But it went,
Because-
as far as
It's 'cause
recordings go,
Once they got signed,
it was Cliff.
Cliff died.
Cliff died,
They
and
got
then
Jason.
Newstead.
And then
And then Jason left, and Bob Rock actually played on Saint Anger. And
Yeah,
then
we'll forget
everything
about that one.
after Saint Anger was Rob Trio.
right.
It's like Ozzy's band. Ozzy and Zach
No.
as over the last 30 years,
Oh, okay.
Zach has been like the mainstay in the Ozzy Osbourne band. Before that, it was Ozzy, Randy, Bob Daisley, and Carmine. No, it wasn't Carmine.
Carbon and Peace.
I don't think it was Carmine. I think it was. I forget the drummer.
It wasn't Carmine anyway. It was
Yeah.
Carmen.
Carmen. Apathy.
Apathy. Oh,
Yeah, not a piece. And then with when Rudy came along, Rudy Sarzo, and it was Tommy Aldridge. Tommy Aldridge, Rudy Sarzo, Randy Rhoads, and Ozzy. And then after Randy died,
Jakey Lee.
I forget which guitar player finished that tour, but then it was Jake, and Bob Daisley came back, and Tommy Aldridge, and then Bob Daisley left, and
She's yawning now.
Yeah, Jake left, and it was Zach, Geezer, and Tommy. And then Randy Castillo replaced Tommy Aldridge. But, I mean, Zach was the thing.
But was it Ozzy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
all we need to know.
Ozzy has been, of course, the number one stay.
If you hear the pick harmonics,
Yep.
it's fucking Zach.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, up on the wall, behind the camera, you've got the late, great Randy Rhoads, the late, great Steve Ray Vaughan, who played on an album with David Bowie. And then, of course, you have the late, great Dimebag fucking Daryl.
Yep.
Who was once offered a position with Megadeth, but he turned it down.
No, he didn't turn it down. He said, as long as my brother can come along with me. And Dave Mustaine said, well, is your brother like your guitar tech or something? And he's like, no, he's my drummer, man. And Dave's like, well, I just hired a drummer.
Yeah, Nick Menza.
Nick Menza. He's like, sorry, dude.
Yep.
Which, if you look back at history, if Vinny and Dime would have joined Megadeth, we wouldn't have had Pantera.
Right.
If Dave hadn't got fired from Metallica, we wouldn't have had Megadeth.
Correct.
So shit happens for a reason.
Exactly. Oh, sorry. Exactly.
Well, on that note, I think we have talked.
You just got more to say.
I'm gonna be good.
I mean,
I'm gonna be good. I promise.
I'm sure I could have a lot more to say.
We know.
Yeah, you gotta break down. Blah 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 blah.
I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Dun, dun, dun.
But on that note, you have just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I have been Matt. And on behalf of the lovely, the beautiful Regina, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.